So, hi Dan, congratulations, first
Hello.
of all, on the huge success of Follow You. We play it on a regular basis on our station, and it's really, whenever I hear the song, it's stuck in my head for the rest of the days.
Thank you. Thank you for the support. Appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. It's a beautiful song with a beautiful story. I think you talked about the story 100 times since this story is so super personal and maybe even a life-changing story. And it's one of the first song I guess you wrote for the album. And it's the first song you released since 2018, I guess. How does it feel that such a special personal song connects so well with your audience?
It's been, you never know what to expect when it's a new album. For us, we try to take a different direction, and we definitely did with this record with, Rick Rubin producing it. So I didn't really know what to expect, to be honest. But, I think after your fifth album, you're kind of at a place where the most important thing to me is just to be creating honest music that I like, that speaks for where I'm at in life. And everything else is just like, you can only hope. You can't control whether people are going to like or not like something. But seeing that the fans have been this receptive to it has been incredible. But it doesn't surprise me. We have incredible fans, and we have for over a decade now, and they've followed us through thick and thin. And I feel incredibly lucky.
How does it feel for your wife? Because it's her story too, kind of. Was she like, oh my God, I don't know how people react. I don't know if I want it to be out there. Was she a bit anxious or was it all right?
She's an artist as well. We actually met when my band opened for hers over a decade ago. So she's familiar with, she's written some love songs about me, and she's written some not so love songs about me, some pretty angry songs. So we're both artists. We know that it just comes with the territory of being with an artist, is that, she's my greatest muse. And that just comes with the territory. So I think it's just like the second you marry someone who's an artist, you kind of are just signing up for, you're probably going to write a song about me at some point. I hope it's nice, but they're probably, so yeah, she's happy. She's happy with it, I guess.
Wonderful. This gets even more romantic than the story. How did you decide that Follow You would be your comeback single, if you want to call it like that, the first single to release?
A couple things went into that. I mean, the label always lets me decide, always, with the band. So throughout all the years, we've always had the choice, which has been cool. We have a great, Interscope's been fantastic to us always, and they trust the process, they trust what we do. And so we knew we wanted to come out with something that was light, that made people smile. It's been a really difficult few years. We wanted something that was upbeat, that was happy, that was celebratory of life a little bit, because half of the record is about that. It's about looking outward and celebrating life, and then half of the record's about looking inward, and it's a little bit more chaotic and a little more angsty. But anyway, so yeah, we just felt like the feeling of it was right. It always made me smile to listen to it. It made me feel something, every time I listened to it. And after 2 years, I wrote this song 2 years ago, so I've sat with it a long time. That meant a lot to me, that it still made me feel that special kind of feeling.
But with the single Follow You, you say that you came back from a 2.5 year break, I guess, even, where you kind of sorted yourself out, where you kind of found your normal Dan besides the Dan on stage and being an artist and everything. How maybe was the Dan different coming into this break from the Dan now coming out of this break?
Very different. I've really gone through a lot of life changes in the last few years. I'd say the most dramatic are, I've dealt with death a lot. I've lost 4 people that I was really close to over the last few years. But a lot of people have. So this is, it's part of life, that you're going to experience it at some point, and you're going to be faced with the finality of life. And it makes you see things differently. It makes some things that you cared about not matter anymore, and it makes things that do matter the most matter a lot. So I had to deal with that, and it kind of sent me in a spiral of a spiritual crisis of sorts that I've really been going through since I was a teenager, because I was raised very religiously, and religion didn't sit well for me personally. But so anyway, I came to a landing place though in the last few years where I really found peace with not knowing,
Oh, wow.
and being present, just being like, here I am right now talking to you. That's all I'm worried about. That's all I'm thinking about, is being present right now. And just trying to be a good person in the world, and be a good dad to my kids and a good husband to my wife. But, like a day at a time. Instead of thinking about the future and the past and all those things that, you can go crazy,
Yeah,
you can't do anything
sure.
about.
How did making the album maybe help you sorting this out? Or was it the other way around, that sorting yourself out had an impact on your music?
I think it was a little bit of both. It kind of was like, the music was teaching me something, and I was also putting something into the music that, you know, I needed to say. I think music has always served me as my best friend. You know, it's like the creation process is a very cathartic experience for me. I sit down, and I'm never sitting down thinking I'm trying to make something for the masses, or I'm sitting down and trying to make something for Imagine Dragons. I'm simply doing something that makes me happy, and that's creating and making art. And I've done that since I was 12, and it's just a part of my process every day. So yeah, I feel like it's a continued journey for me, and it always is teaching me something, and there's always new places to go, because the sonic world goes on forever. You know, we haven't cracked the surface of, you know, every song has not been written, and every sound has not been explored. So yeah.
Was there one specific thing that this album, or the process, or the crafting this album taught you?
I think it has taught me that this record is about honesty. It's about facing the finality of life and what that feels like. Sometimes scary, sometimes it's beautiful, and sometimes it's just confusing. And it's also about, I think the main thing I learned is just to be honest and tell my truth. And if you're being honest and you're telling your truth, then you can't go wrong in life. I really believe that. I think as long as you're always your most authentic self, it kind of builds a force field of love around you. As corny as that sounds, it's kind of like when you tell your truth, it creates a force field where nothing really hurts you anymore, because you know that you're just doing you. And if you're doing you, how can anybody be mad at you for doing you? Like, okay, what do you expect me to do? Not me, you know? Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I think that honesty has been what I've learned most. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that sounds really beautiful. Did Rick Rubin play a huge part in being the most honest on this album?
Yes, Rick was certainly not only a producer on this record, but just a mentor for me. I think that he really was exactly what this band and I needed for this record. He pushed us to uncomfortable places. He would question me a lot. And one of the things he would say most, and I've said this in a lot of interviews, but it's probably one of the most poignant things, is I would record something, he would say, "I don't believe you when you said that," or saying that. And I would say, "What do you mean? Like I'm saying it and I mean it." And he says, "Okay, that's sure, but I don't feel it. I don't believe it in how it comes across." So that was a constant theme of the record, pushing me to a place where I'm more vulnerable than I was comfortable going sometimes. But he would push me to get there. And that was important for me, and it created a really vulnerable record that hopefully will resonate with people. But at the end of the day, it's my truth. It's my honest truth. I wrote every word and melody, and I always have from the very beginning. But now, especially on this record, I'm very exploring just a little bit more vulnerability. And that's a scary thing for me, but it's also exciting, you know, as I get older.
Sure. I've heard that you write a new song every day. And that's amazing, because that's magic to me, writing a song. And you had 300 demos for this record, is that right? And you decided on 20 songs. How on earth could you do that?
You know, I've always done it since I was young. It's just part of my process. It's not work for me. I don't do it for any reason other than I love it. It's kind of like, the best way I could explain it is if you found a little kid who loved Legos more than anything, and then you told him, hey, every day for the rest of your life, you're allowed to spend 6 hours a day, like, building something new with Legos. If the kid really is obsessed with Legos and he loves it, you know, there's nothing, and then he gets to build it up, and it's some beautiful tower that he gets to see and, like, put on his, you know, in his room of Lego things. He's going to do it every day, and then if he gets paid to do it, and that's how he takes care of his family, well, he's probably going to do it more than the person that just does Legos every day because that's where they happened to be, or because people are asking them to do it. Like, I do music because I love it. I'm obsessed with it. I've done it. It's my Lego set, you know, since I was a little kid, and so yeah, it's my joy. And when it's not my joy, I won't do it anymore. The second it becomes work,
okay,
then on to something else. Yeah.
Wonderful. And you've never been to that point, or
not
close
yet.
To that point? Not yet?
I was 3 years ago, and that's when I decided, okay, the band needs to stop for a while. Mm-hmm. And I told the guys that, and everybody was cool about it, and we all decided, I think everybody was close to there. We'd been touring for a decade straight, and it wasn't creating music was tiresome. I was still, even, I never stopped making music, ever. I mean, even over the last 3 years, I wrote over 300 songs, but being on stage and performing these same songs was getting redundant for me, and it was feeling numb. These fans wait sometimes years to see the band, and I owe it to them to give them my authentic, happy, honest self on stage and celebrate these things. And the second I was not there anymore, that's when I decided, okay, I need to take a break until I'm ready. And now I feel ready again. I feel very excited to get on a stage.
Wonderful. Working on the human behind the artist. I mean, that's a really important thing. The last questions I have to ask, of course, is, do we have a release date? I heard you talking about it's sooner than later. Do I get a little bit more than sooner than later?
I wish that I could tell you the exact date. All I can tell you is the record is done. The record's being mixed and mastered right now, and it will be out soon. We will announce a date.
Okay,
soon.
Do we have a title already?
Yeah, I haven't told anybody that. So there you go. We do have a title. I can't tell you. I can't tell you the title, but I wish I could. Trust me, it's killing me to hold it. Like when the fans are like, drop the record, I'm like, I want to drop the record. Like I'm so excited to share the record. I can't, because there's a way to these things, and the band, and we're working towards it.